Hi, I'm Jim Fausone. I'm the founding partner here at Fausone Bohn, and I have with me today a couple of my colleagues, Rob Pollock and my partner, Brandon Grysko. I get asked all the time, what kind of business law do you guys do? And it's a pretty wide variety. We've been very busy the beginning here of 2022. So I thought we'd just talk briefly about a few things we've been working on, are in the process of closing, and that may give you some sense of the type of business law that we do for our clients here. We've been working on key employee buyouts where employees are buying up to maybe 49% of the company from the company owner. A lot of nuances involved in that sort of thing. Working on a stock value appreciation plan where a company owner wants to encourage the key employees to help add value to the company, but they should have some rights to the appreciation of that value that they're driving, and certainly involved in the sale of property and businesses. Livonia specialty food company that we're working on at the moment. So there's a lot of activity going on because of the economy, because of coming out of COVID. Sellers are anxious to sell and buyers are anxious to buy. Brandon, what sorts of things are you seeing in this first quarter that kind of would give the viewer an understanding of the type of business work that we do?
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. Yeah, as Jim said, we've been extremely busy in this first quarter of 2022. I can't even believe I'm saying 2022. It feels like in some ways we're still back in 2021. But obviously market forces are driving a lot of activity, particularly in the manufacturing space. And so as a firm, we've been involved on both sides of that, both from the sell side, where current small business manufacturing type operation is looking to sell both the land that the business is located on and the assets of the business to a third-party incoming purchaser. And we've also been involved on the buy side of that, where we have manufacturing clients who are looking to acquire and sort of bring in-house with their one of their suppliers so that they can continue to offer the same level of services to their end users of the product that they produce. So each one of these transactions has its own sticking points, and everything kind of has its own unique way that it occurs. Jim talked a little bit about sort of employee deals that involve key employees of the business. But there's other transactions that are more true third-party arm's length transactions. And in the manufacturing space, we've certainly been seeing a lot of that. In addition to that, we see that as business owners age and maybe eventually even sometimes pass away, there's a lot of overlap in between the trust and estate matters and the business matters. And so for one client who's a real estate holding company, there were two sides of the business sort of related through marriage. And now that the owners have both passed away, we're looking at how does the company redeem the stock from one side of the family, leaving sort of the other side of the family to continue on in the business. And lastly, not to leave you with the impression that we're only doing deals that are in the millions of dollars range, but also oftentimes we have deals that are under $1 million. And a lot of times these smaller transactions can be even more complicated than the larger transactions due to a variety of factors, including sometimes client expectations. But in one such instance, we have actually a bar restaurant transfer occurring. It's a stock purchase and sale that also involves the transfer of the liquor license. And so anytime you're dealing with a regulated industry like the liquor industry, there are state licensing issues that need to be taken into consideration. And being that it's a stock deal rather than an asset purchase, you also have different concerns, whereas the liabilities stay with the business in a stock purchase. But with an asset sale, typically you don't have to carry those liabilities with you. So, these are sort of a lot of different nuanced transactions that are going on. Definitely a lot of activity in the first quarter of 2022. And we're just here to provide the best service we can for clients, while they grow their businesses or move out of their businesses and move into retirement.
You mentioned that everything has nuances, and sometimes smaller deals have bigger nuances.
That's right.
Rob, you might be the prince of nuance at the moment, because one of the things we're seeing is a lot of activity with real estate and the need for surveys on commercial real estate. And in a hot market like this, surveyors and others are really busy.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been trying to corral those folks to get these deals closed. Tell us about some of the projects you've worked on in this quarter.
Yeah, so like Jim said, it's all about the small details, and especially with property. So, a lot of times we have one commercial property that we're trying to close on for one of the clients that we deal with, and in these closings, oftentimes the small details matter. In this particular case, we discovered that since the 1980s, the client had been using the wrong legal description in the property, in the deed. Big issue there. So we've had to deal with that and kind of come to resolutions that would benefit our client. And these are just one type of issue that we deal with. We also do a lot of stuff with easements when it comes to real estate. Two of our clients have had separate easement issues that we've kind of had to work out. One was a municipality that operates a plant that had different outfall easements that needed to be done to go out to the river. So we dealt with a large commercial supplier that owned the property and dealt with the easement that had never been drafted. I mean, in 30 years, yes, missing pieces. And then another client that wanted to build a subdivision bought a property that was a vacant lot, but had not a really good easement that went out to the main road, which is a necessary piece.
I guess you got to be able to drive to the property if you're going to build on it, right?
Right. So that's two of the other issues that we dealt with, and just dealing with a lot of multifamily commercial properties as well. We sold a 100-unit apartment complex for one client. Brandon and I did a lot of work on that and got it to closing. And it's also very important to have an attorney in that whole process. Sometimes it can save you money, even up to the last second. In that case, we actually found an issue with the settlement statements on the closing table and saved the client like $5,000. So, sometimes the attorneys pay for themselves if you have them there.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, a little bit. So, just dealing with different developers. So we've also dealt with a mobile home developer. And drafted a bunch of their leases for the mobile home lots. And so those are kind of a little bit of, touch on a little bit of the issues that we deal with here.
Well, that brings us back to where we started, which is when we get asked, well, what kind of business work do you do? It's a wide variety. It's hard. It's not just one thing. And it's generally working with the company owners and property owners to help them meet their goals. And oftentimes it's folks who don't like using lawyers until they have to, and when you're buying or selling, because there's title issues and bank and financing issues, reps and warranties, it's really important to engage your attorneys so that you get it done right. And if we can be of any help to you in that regards, please feel free to contact us here at Fausone Bohn at 248-380-0000. And thanks for watching.